Hello there and welcome along. The Gardener Ben here with your next rose review, and the kind of rose that's going to break me into a sweat and get me all unnecessary, as I don't really want to offend any of my French speaking followers. The rambling rose behind me, bred and introduced in 1986 by Louis Lenz, is Dantelle de Malines. This is a really lovely rambling rose which unfortunately has become quite difficult to get hold of here in the UK. However, I would strongly recommend you searching for this one if you have a different situation in the garden that you might not want just a rambling rose for. This particular one, when grown as a climber or rambling rose, is going to reach something in a region of 20 to 25 feet. However, don't feel that this particular rose just needs to be grown as a climber or rambler. It works really nicely crambling down an embankment, tumbling over a low retaining wall, or on a small fence where you can let it amble about beautifully. It's a really lovely rose which only flowers once in the season, but don't let that put you off either. The flowering season on this particular rose lasts between 5 and 6 weeks. Starting its flowering display somewhere in the region of about late to mid-June, it will still be in flower at the very end of July, so producing a really nice, beautiful display for you. You can see here I've planted mine at the bottom of an old Bramley apple tree, which unfortunately has now left the garden and is deceased. But this one looks absolutely beautiful with these coral funguses on the stem of the rose itself, rambling up into the old tree. This one is going to be bringing me years and years of interest in the garden for years to come, and produces large sprays of flowers. They're apple blossom white and very, very simple in their makeup. They bob around and move beautifully in the wind, so I'm going to really enjoy this one as it moves around in the breeze. Each flower containing around 12 to 20 petals. They're very, very simple, and in the very center has a beautiful, rich, buttery colored yellow collection of stamens right in the very center. Sprays of flowers contain literally dozens and dozens of buds, which is why this one lasts such a long period of time and flowers for weeks and weeks on end. The foliage is incredibly big, very, very long and very broad, almost finger-like in its makeup. And unlike a lot of rambling roses, I say this one bred by Louis Lenz, it doesn't have a huge amount of barbing to the back of the leaf, so it makes it quite easy to handle. If you wanted to cut this one and bring it into an informal floral arrangement into the house, it does cut quite nicely, and there will be very few barbs on the stems that you're going to be cutting. This particular stem is not coloured up, but the ones I'm going to take a picture of and actually create my moving reel or short from in a moment will actually have lovely pink tinges to the stems themselves. So another nice attribute of this particular rose, that adds another nice dimension to it. The fragrance is musk based. It's very, very light and will only score around 3 out of 10 for fragrance rating with myself. Disease resistance rating, this one is really quite good and actually scores a 6 out of 10 for disease resistance. The thorn count for a rambler is relatively low and it's going to be marked as medium with myself. The only thing to note with this particular rambling rose is, as with a lot of rambling roses that reach a large size, this one has taken around 36 months to actually produce any flowers. This one produced 1 or 2 flowers last year, but nothing on this scale. So it has taken a little while to actually get itself established. So do give it some time in the garden before you actually become too critical of it. But a really useful rose for either growing up into a tree, maybe you want to grow it on a pergola, scramble it down an embankment, or simply glass it as a large shrub in the garden and let it amble around on a piece of waste ground you don't know really well what to do with. But because of its loosely open form flowers, absolutely perfect for bringing pollinators into the garden and adding another dimension into your growing space. This one is a really, really fabulous rose, so do look out for much more media coming on this one over the next couple of weeks and months from this one. I've really enjoyed bringing this one to you, and I'll hopefully see you all again very soon. Take good care now. Bye-bye.